For the students, from my experience, they like this structure, the blended learning method of delivering the course, because it gives them more opportunities for independent studying. They have the materials available online. They like the virtual classes because it eases them from a lot of geographical and time barriers. They like the interaction among themselves, the interaction with the content, with the instructor, with the students, through the communication tools that we have.
An advantage of the blended course as compared with the traditional course is that I don't have to repeat myself so often, and I get less queries from students asking me to go over material that I've already covered before, because they've got the videos which they can look at for themselves.
I find that the students have been highly positive about the new blended teaching and learning courses, because they have the ability to have flexibility in their schedule this way, and in addition they're able to access anytime from anywhere, so they can follow up with questions in the next meeting that we have in face-to-face, and I usually then am just helping push them further instead of just having to explain things in small detail that they can see when they're online.
In the beginning, the students were intimidated to try something new, but after their first blended class, they were so excited and happy with it.
My students engaged really well with the blended format. They actually look forward to the videos.
My students responded very positively to the transformation of my course to blended. And they were very happy to see lecturing moving outside the face-to-face sessions. And they can watch it, they can listen to it anytime, anywhere. They were very thrilled about using Blackboard as a learning management system for the first time, and it was very deep utilization of this very handy and very powerful software we are using. A focused group was assembled at the end of the course, and Dr. Maha, the coordinator of CETL's teaching assessment unit, visited the students. I wasn't there, and she started taking their feedbacks about the course. And one of them said, while commuting from Abu Dhabi to Al Ain, I can listen to the lecture on the road. So instead of watching, they prefer to listen sometimes. They were very happy with the video clips and how the course is managed and how the course is really structured. And now the face-to-face sessions started to have active, collaborative, and more time for case analysis.
The students found the course engaging, exciting, and even the materials were more interesting.
Students have responded very positively to the blended course. When I explained to them what was happening at the start of the semester, they were intrigued to be part of this new format of learning. I think they've really appreciated the flexibility involved in the blended learning. For my students, I've given them a 3-day window to complete the exercises and quizzes for each online course section. And that's something that they've very much appreciated. They also like the freedom to access the materials whenever and wherever they want. And I think the availability of the videos to them online is something that has helped their learning, particularly the fact that they can review the materials at any time, they can pause, they can rewind, they can clarify a point that they might have missed on the first viewing. And that is definitely an advance over the traditional face-to-face lecture method.
Feedback from students has been extremely positive. Students are saying that by being able to watch videos again and again, they're able to grasp key concepts presented in the lectures. Students like the flexibility that a blended course gives them, and they like the fact that it's self-paced.
In traditional teaching, you usually give the lectures and then assign some assignments to your students, maybe use the e-learning system as enhancement. While in the blended learning, you have all these features in addition to virtual classrooms, virtual office hours, you have interaction, you can have online assessment, quizzes, exams, and you can also integrate cloud computing services into the e-learning system.
A big advantage of the blended course compared with the traditional course is that I don't have to repeat myself so often, and students are less frequently asking me to explain again something I did before, because they can look to the videos where these things are explained already.
The blended teaching format has allowed me to hone in on many concepts and to design my course more creatively. Furthermore, it has made my students responsible for their own learning.
Totally different. The course is more organized, the students are more engaged, and I have more time to do other tasks.
Teaching traditionally or teaching blended courses, I belong to that generation who used literally the physical blackboard and white chalk in teaching. And so all the way the transformation in instructional technologies and teaching pedagogies. So for me, teaching blended courses is the magic solution to dealing with this generation of students. Now I have a lot of time to utilize. Yes, it's time demanding from my own side, but it's worth it. Now, actually, I can practice a lot of emerging teaching pedagogies in this course. Active learning, collaborative, cooperative, case-based teaching, and students are actually at the center of the teaching process. And I'm just a facilitator when it comes to face-to-face sessions. The online part of the course, students now can watch the lectures anywhere, anytime, and they don't need actually to ask a lot of questions. The office hour need is far less compared to my traditional teaching. So I'm very happy to be one of the first wave of champions in offering blended courses.
Traditional teaching methods were very useful in the 1970s and 1980s, but the world has changed completely. Students today are digital natives, so we need to adapt our teaching style for this generation. With the blended course, I see my students are happy. They truly enjoy studying in this way.
Blended course format is more concise. I found when I was doing the transformation that where you have an hour's talk time in a traditional format of lectures, that might translate into half an hour of online videos, because you're not being asked by students to go over the same material again. You tend to be more concise in your expression. And also there's more variety in the blended format between the face-to-face and online teaching, and also the variety of different teaching methods that you can employ.
Compared to a traditional course, the learner engagement is much higher. They're able to come in and participate. I'm able to actively see, especially on our Blackboard, through analytics, how often they go onto the system and how often they actually utilize all the different tools. In addition, the students also can have different learning levels, so differentiated learning becomes much easier when you're using online platforms. This way I can target individual students, the ones that need more attention or the ones that I can accelerate to a higher level.
The design that I have 3 main sections: as needed section, must see section, and optional section. And these sections are rich in material.
So on my blended course I used Panopto because I was keen to have videos with questions embedded in them.
I've personally opted to transform 30% of my course. I'm using both GoAnimate and Panopto on Blackboard. This allows for a dynamic approach.
The first unique feature with the course is the course website design, how the course is navigated by students, what are the links available and the sections available to the students to watch and read through. The other feature is the mix between the different ways of delivering the lectures online. Some of them are recorded in studio in a very professional setup, and the material comes around the speaker. And some of them are PowerPoint presentations narrated. Sometimes the instructor is there and sometimes the instructor is listened to. Another unique feature is how the students extended their in-class participation and discussion to become online using discussion forums and discussion threads within the Blackboard course website. Another unique feature is how the Grade Center actually was employed in this course, with part of it was completely automated, and the students actually was transparently following up what's happening in their grades immediately after each session. And I'll share with you some of the features.
With the blended course, I teach in a paperless environment. All of the students' homework, assignments, and exams done on the cloud.
The course profoundly utilizes educational platforms and applications such as Blackboards, Kahoot, and Socrative.
One of the things which I did was right at the beginning to develop a standardized lesson plan for all the classes that I was going to transfer online. And I think that really facilitated and eased the transition, because rather than having to work out on a class-by-class basis, how was I going to take my old face-to-face material and move it into the blended format? There was a standardized plan there at the beginning.
So using Blackboard and online learning, it's much easier for me to address students with educational needs. Students with educational needs might be somebody who needs a longer time to take a test. So for example, if I'm giving a quiz, I can put into the test itself, when I give the quiz, that this one student will have longer time to take the test, for example, or they can have different questions. And then it allows them to be able to feel more comfortable as we go through instead of taking a separate test time.
I chose to use animation for my online videos. I used a cloud-based video creation program called Beyond, which is fantastic. It's very versatile and allows you to create very engaging online lessons. Videos can be created in different styles, including whiteboard animation and video infographics.
No doubt the CETL was very supportive from the very beginning, and I think no one could have succeeded in the blended learning courses without the support of CETL.
CETL has played a key role in supporting the transformation of the course through providing professional seminars and workshops.
I had a lot of support from CETL and from Tendai Charles in particular throughout the course, helping with technical difficulties and just making everything run more smoothly and efficiently.
All of this could have not been possible if I didn't have the support of the CETL team. They were always there to guide me through the process. Any questions I had were answered, and I just cannot thank them enough.
Well, actually, I am a CETL. And when it comes to the support I got as a course developer, it was unprecedented. And as a matter of fact, I call Jimmy the magician behind all the multimedia tools that you will watch here.
CETL supported me with their weekly lectures, workshops, and seminars. And they provided me with one-to-one training that focused on the blended course transformation.
The support that I got from CETL was fantastic. First of all, obviously the training sessions which were available in the semesters previous to me blending my courses. There was detailed meetings with Dr. Tendai Charles of CETL to help me prepare my lesson plans before I began to prepare my other materials. Again, CETL reviewed all my teaching materials for me at the end of summer 2018, just before setting out on the first implementation of the blended course.
CETL has been very helpful. They've had such great enthusiasm for this new blended learning transformation process. In addition, they've given us a lot of training and been very supportive throughout the process.
The CETL team has been absolutely amazing. They've been a source of guidance and support throughout the entire process, and especially when I ran into some technical issues with the software.
Definitely, I will recommend this initiative to my colleagues. However, I'd like to tell them that they have to be enthusiastic and to spend effort and to enhance their skills so that they succeed in this initiative.
I already have recommended doing the blended teaching and learning to my colleagues.
I would definitely recommend the BCT initiative to my colleagues. However, I strongly advise that everybody tailor it to their own needs and to their own subject matter.
We have already. Just yesterday, I was approached by a colleague of mine from the college saying, well, I would like to transform my course, please help me. And we started collecting the second wave of blended courses from the colleges, and we have at least 5 courses from each college, so we have it running.
Yes, I strongly encourage all UAEU faculty to blend their courses. Honestly, It takes a lot of time and a lot of effort, but you will be delighted with the results.
Definitely, I recommend blended learning to my colleagues.
Certainly I would. In fact, I've recommended to a number of them, and I think some of them will be part of the initiative next semester with their own courses. And when you're trying to balance a crowded schedule of teaching, service, research, conferences and so on, there's real advantages to this method of teaching.
I would highly recommend doing a blended learning course. Number one, because you can track all the different progress that you have had with your students. In traditional learning, a lot of times we don't hear feedback from our students for years until later on in their life when they're like, oh, that was a great course, or that wasn't so good, or I remembered this or that. In this way, you can get immediate results using surveys, using the analytics itself. Also, you can track learner progress. They have certain accountability that they have to do for their own learning, so they have to go up online and be self-disciplined and take that initiative even when you're not meeting with them face to face. You can follow this up then in the classroom itself when you see them on the next meeting. An additional benefit is that it gives you a flexibility of learning tools, meaning you're not just giving like a PowerPoint and you're not just giving a YouTube video. You actually can use interactivity, meaning you can gamify the system, which increases learner engagement, and they can use it over and over again. So utilizing the surveys in Blackboard can be an excellent tool because they're anonymous for the students and they feel free then to give you honest feedback. So I use this throughout the course just to check in with them to see if they really are enjoying the blended learning transformation process.
The process of transforming a course into a blended one was a lot of work, but definitely worth it in the end. My students and I are now finally reaping the benefits of all that hard work and time invested in this project. So yeah, I would definitely recommend it.
Now let me show you how I designed one of my courses for blended learning delivery method. Due to the richness of the materials I have posted to the e-learning system Blackboard, to make it easy for the students, I just followed this design as needed section. These are the sections that they go only if needed, like attending the virtual classroom, checking calendar, and reading the syllabus. But the second section must use, all students have to go through these and do them whenever I tell them. And then the last one, optional. If they want to check their grades or to use the tools, then they can't go there. Let me just point out to one of these sections, like must study, must use. This is study units. These are the main units that are covered in the course, like chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. In each chapter, for example, this is chapter 3. Each chapter has like 10 items that the students have to go through one by one, starting from the objective and ending with the quizzes and exams.
Now I'm going to show you one of my Panopto videos which has questions embedded within it. The thing I was most happy with in my course was the use of Panopto videos. So this is one way the students can view it. They have the PowerPoint presentation taking up most of the screen, and then there's a video of me in the corner explaining the content. But students also have the option to view it slightly differently. In the last task, you will... So this way they can view the PPT here, they can see which slides are coming up or which slides they've already covered. Down here they can see the questions, the quizzes which are embedded within the video, so they can go back to a quiz if they want to. And the video of me is separated from the PPT and presented over here.
So let me show you a part of my blended teaching course. I'd like to share with you one of the videos that I am using for my blended teaching approach. This is the chapter on public opinion, which students sometimes have a hard time with. But I have seen that with my video, it has been easier for them to digest the concepts and to understand the content that is being taught to them.
Now let's have a short tour in what we have on Blackboard. This is the home page of my Blackboard course web. And And this shows the announcements I made. The course actually runs in the first 2 months of the semester. For the first time actually in my teaching, I introduced myself in a different way. I just went to my office and introduced myself in there.
To 3 parts. The first part was in Egypt, where I received my basic education up to earning a bachelor's degree.
So I introduced myself like that, and even, my Google Scholar account, even my professional Twitter in there to share with them the events that are happening in their discipline. The course syllabus itself was introduced using the same method. It's if a student is interested to get the PDF file, it's there. If the student would like to watch me and listen to me introducing the course syllabus, can actually do that as well.
Masters of Engineering Management students. The focus of this course is management of technology and innovation.
Okay. So this is the very first part of navigation in here, and this is the course content. So these are the 9 sessions, and the 10th is the final exam. In each session, I have the material posted. I have a summary about what's going to be in that session. If I share with you the third subject of the subject itself in PDF, some ebooks, references, some presentations from before. And if you look at this part of the material, let me share with you something in here, because this material actually appears on timely basis. So when I add a clip, so this is added from what we call mashups, and I get it from the Panopto. But down there, select the date and time restrictions. I specify the time at which this clip is going to appear. To the exact time, the day and the time of the day that clip is going to appear. For example, if I would like to have this to be displayed, let's say November 13 at, let's say, 1 a.m. And once I hit submit, it's going to be like that. This is just a sample of the professionally recorded lecture or mini lecture.
In fact, we will categorize them over several layers in there. The literature provides many classification schemes, and I'm showing you an image of her. This value chain to describe the activities through
technology, service producer, and distribution channel.
Management, order fulfillment, advertising, and marketing, nothing. How many drivers does that business model own? Nothing. Cortex and vital source.
Okay, and so these are the materials and the sessions. Each session has its own content, as I said. Some web links are provided to the students. As a matter of fact, the students are grouped into 7 teams in this course, and each team has its own, the members of this team, and they can actually have their own blog and their own tasks and everything, and we exchange files and a lot of things. And another unique feature of this is how the discussion forum have been used here. Every session has its own discussion forum. Students can actually extend their participations from the face-to-face to online. And just to show you a sample here, and I reply actually to most of these, and I get in there, and it's part of their assessment and all that. The grade center actually is another feature of this, and how it is utilized, and it's color coded actually. Each grade has its own color. Red means that there are some concerns that we need to address, and blue means students are doing great, and part of it is automated and so forth. So I'm really proud of how the students actually looked at it, and one of the students said, I graduated from XYZ University and I have never used Blackboard to that extent of utilization.
Now I will show you one of the unique features in my blended course. So here's an example of one of the lesson plans which I prepared with the help of CETL. Each lesson plan set out each different stage in the class and the pedagogy, technology, and the kinds of interaction involved. So the lesson plans followed quite a standardized format. First of all, there was a set reading from the textbook which students were asked to have read through before they came to class. Then there would be a brief introductory video uploaded which outlined the aims of the lesson, and in this case introduced technology as a source of social change and simply listed 4 ways in which technology could lead to social change. This was followed by the first of 2 online collaborative exercises which students were asked to complete in each lesson. In this case, students were asked to review some of the key areas of social change already covered in the course and give real-life examples of how technology had contributed to these changes. The purpose of this and the other exercises was to get students engaged together in applying the key ideas of the course to the world around them. Next, a more substantial video was uploaded. 15 minutes looking in detail at how technology changes the world of work and production and some of the social and cultural transformations that result. This was followed by the second online collaborative exercise which students were asked to complete. Here it was identifying ways in which technology affected a specific occupation of their choice, including employment opportunities, working conditions and social relations. Then the third and final video was uploaded for students to watch. Again, 15 minutes, covering how technology changes the way we communicate and share information, and social and cultural changes that result. Finally, students had 10 minutes to take a brief online quiz with 5 questions, which tested their understanding of material from the day's lesson, as well as the assigned reading. This served 2 purposes. It both was an incentive to the students to watch the online materials, and it also served as a check upon attendance for the course.
So I'm going to show you how you can utilize in the quizzes changing the time for certain students, like students with educational needs who may need longer time on the quizzes. So the students have, in this quick quiz, they have exactly 7 minutes to answer 5 questions. But as you can see, I can go down and give an exception to 1 or 2 different students within the course. So I can choose here and then add time to their test, so they will have more time to complete.
I found that managing group discussions, particularly for large classes, easier online than in a face-to-face classroom setting. A lot of peer learning happens in these online discussion boards, which is really great to see. Here are some examples of my animated videos. Some of the animated videos I created were done using whiteboard animation, like in this example here.
The communication process. In any communicative exchange, there's always at least 2 parties involved. There is the sender and the receiver.
For some of my other videos, I used contemporary style graphics, as in this video here.
Do all skills develop equally? Of the 4 language skills, listening and reading are receptive skills.
These are just some examples of how animated videos using Beyond look like.